Hey guys, Flyboy Glenn here, and currently I'm staying at the Buck Creek uh, National Forest Campground, and it's here where I met a friend, and he's willing to show us around his Skoolie bus. Met him a couple days ago. We hit it off, and he took me around, and it's quite impressive. And so I want you guys say hello to my friend Mike. Mike, how you doing?
Good.
And I understand that you are going to show us around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my '96 Bluebird Minibird.
Yeah, it's a very unique actually shape. I noticed the front end is a little different. It doesn't have all those round corners. And so when did you purchase this?
I bought it about 3 years ago. The first year it kind of just sat. The second year was when I got into starting to do the build out, and now the build out's not complete, but it's time to move into it. I'll finish the build out as I'm living in it.
Right. And well, you've already done a lot of stuff now.
I don't have the sink or the stove installed yet, or the wood stove, but those are going to be coming in the next 6 months or so. I'll have those things installed.
So let's talk about like the short-term and long-term objectives and what you plan on doing with the vehicle once it's completed, or even now. So what are your future plans, and what is this vehicle going to be used for?
My plan to disconnect from society, to live in it on the road, to boondock and rubber tramp, and just disconnect and separate myself from the ways that humans live today.
Well, can't argue with that. So what do you say we take a look?
Sure.
Yeah.
Come on in.
All right.
So these are wooden shutters that I made for privacy. I've got the upper shutter removed so that I'm out here in the woods and I don't care. So I just have all my windows open and I can see out. It's private enough of a spot that I'm not worried about it at nighttime, whether you see it or not. But when I'm parked in the city, I put the shutters up and it's completely dark at night. Even when I have lights and TV inside, you can't tell.
So all your shutters are wooden?
Yes.
Great.
I took cheap 3/8-inch plywood, burned it and varnished it. Some of them aren't varnished yet. See that darker one there? That's varnished. I haven't varnished the undark ones yet.
Right. So how many feet is this?
24.
And the body's in really nice shape.
Yeah, like I said, she's 96. I'm the second owner. The school district was the first owner, and it's been maintained by the school district its whole life until I purchased it 3 years ago. And Skoolies are the way to go. I paid $3,500 for this 3 years ago with 130,000 miles, diesel 6.5, Chevy diesel 6.5.
Wow. 135,000 original. Yeah, that you can't beat that.
It's got a Chevy P30 frame, which is the same frame that FedEx trucks use. So it's essentially like a FedEx truck with a school bus body on it.
Do you, I mean, just out of curiosity, I know these things are like tanks. What's the gross?
I think it's 11,000 pounds.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
I want to send props out to my buddy Henry, who painted this. He's a local Seattle mural artist, very famous in the Seattle area.
Oh, it's really pretty.
Come on board.
I love this side door.
Yeah, it used to be a wheelchair lift. I removed that, and I've got plans that'll make it so that it's my dinette inside, or I can open it up and have kitchen counter space outside.
Got it. Yeah, it makes a difference. All right.
Excuse the mess. It's, like I said, it's a work in progress. And
Absolutely.
I just moved the board, so right now I'm fine-tuning the living arrangements, trying to decide what goes where, which is going to help me to figure out the final configuration. This side of the bus is pretty much configured, but all of this stuff back is an experiment. I haven't decided how to place everything yet.
Well, let's start right here.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to, so what kind of fridge is that?
This is a, I forget the brand, Winchester, where is it? I don't remember the brand, but it's a 12 volt or 120 volt, not a propane, chest refrigerator. Chest is better because I'm all solar, so it's very important to me to conserve everything I can. And when you open this up, the cold air doesn't fall out.
Cold air doesn't drop out. Yeah.
But I'm running this all day, every day, on my solar power.
Is it a fridge or a freezer?
It's a fridge, but you can turn it down to 0 degrees. You can make it a freezer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
But they make one that has a divider right here. So you have a freezer side and a refrigerator side, but that divider takes up too much space and makes it smaller. So I just got those single.
So while we're here, I noticed you have a lot of I don't know if you guys can see it, but here's your operation center for your solar panels. So let's talk solar. What do you got?
So I have 2 Renogy 100-watt solar panels. I have the Renogy 20-amp MPPT charge controller. And right over here, that's the heart of the system. That thing right down there, that's a Battleborn lithium-ion 100-amp-hour battery. And that thing is an amazing battery.
Now, you were telling me earlier you spent about $900 just on the battery.
Yeah, just on the battery.
Yeah.
But the amount of power you get from that is ridiculous. You can see right here, my battery's at 100% charge. What time is it? It's like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was at 100% by 9 o'clock this morning. And I was at 45% last night when I went to sleep. So that's how, and I'm running, right now I'm running this refrigerator. I'm running this Apple Mini computer. I run this monitor. I charge my phones. I have an electric fan I plug in the afternoon when it gets too hot. And what else am I running? The refrigerator, the computer, the monitor.
So you got a couple of outlets you've put up there.
Oh, I've got outlets everywhere. I've got outlets here, outlets there. I'm an electrician by trade, so I went overboard on the outlets. I have an outlet up here behind these things. That's where the computer's plugged in, is this guy here. In the front, I have an outlet for my shop vac.
So you got tons of storage in here.
Well, no, I wouldn't call it tons.
What about under the bed?
There's a lot of storage under the bed, but it's full right now, and I have all this stuff. I'm still downsizing. I'm still trying to decide what to keep and what to get rid of because storage is limited, and I don't want to own any more than what I carry with me all the time. And I don't like having mess. I like it to be cleaned and put away.
Yeah.
But tools are important to me. That's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
So my tools are what's taking up most of the space right now.
Yeah. Anybody on the road understands that you, I mean, those are the bare basics. You got to have tools when you're out on the road. And that's something I'm totally learning. I've been on the road 10 months. And, I mean, without tools, I would have been, 5 states away. I wouldn't even made it to where I am right now. So, so this is going to be, I wanted to say your kitchen counter, but so what are your overall plans? We could see the roughing construction, all 2x4s.
Well, the plant eventually is going to be finished countertop, stove, a 2-compartment sink, and a wood stove, a small cubic mini wood stove. But I haven't decided that this is the location for my counter yet. I may put it over here. I may divide it and put sink on this side and stove on this side. I haven't done any of that. Right now, the simplest thing for me to do would be to put sink, stove. But I have to go back to work for a couple months. I work as an electrician in the union, so I go back to work whenever I need money.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to work for a few months, purchase those items that I need to install, and then I'll quit work again and go hang out and install them. and I'll figure out how this is. Right now, by living in it, it's gonna help me determine how I want to place everything.
Makes sense.
So that's kind of the experiment I'm living right now, is to figure out how I want to organize the living quarters.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, being in a Class A myself, I mean, if I were to do the trip all over again, there's so many things I would change, and that's just from experience now.
Yeah.
So now you pretty much stay out of the RV parks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's just say the paid full hookup RV parks is what I meant.
I don't have any need for that.
Technically, this is an RV park. It's all dry camping, no hookups, and it's actually quite beautiful. For those of you that are not familiar with the area that we're at, but there's a huge airstrip. Oh, actually, it's small, but it looks huge when you're right next to it. And the way it works is pretty much the camping is on either side of the airstrip. And every couple hours,
for miles. I mean, this road here goes for miles up into the woods.
Right.
It goes all the way to the top of this mountain here. That mountain right there is called Sun Top.
Right.
And this road takes you 8 miles up to the top of Sun Top.
Yeah. So it's actually a very beautiful place, and but it is dry camping. So everything that you need, you got to take with you.
So this is what you need. This is a Northwest Forest Pass.
Right.
It's $30 a year.
Yeah.
And for $30 a year, you can spend 2 weeks here, and then you got to be out of the grounds for a week, I think, and you can come back for 2 more weeks. And it's all over the state. It's not just this area here. There's areas like this all over the state.
Yeah, there's actually multiple passes. I also have a lifetime pass, and it's good for 14 days. So it depends, which route you take. But there are a lot of ways to do it. But without the pass, it's only $5 a night.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not going to break the bank. And you got a real cool TV there. So what is that?
Well, it's just a monitor. It's
just
not
a monitor.
TV, but it's connected to my computer here.
Right. So I mean, you've done a great job. I noticed also it has the same floor, and I love this floor. It's kind of like a rubber vinyl floor, but you said you might have to take it out, or?
Well, I've got some soft spots right here, and I thought I was just going to live with it, but after spending some nights in here by myself lately, the squeak in that soft spot gets annoying. Anyway, I don't want any soft spots on my floor. So
I get it. I'm
trying to decide. I got to crawl under it, see if I can repair it from the underside. If not, I may pull all of this out to fix the part of the floor that's rotted.
Right.
But that's a decision I have yet to make.
So what's the next thing you're going to be doing?
Painting it. I'm going to paint it, and the starter motor needs replacing. So that's what I'm going to do during this week while I'm out here. I'm going to start painting it if the weather cooperates, and I'm only rollering it and brushing it. And the thing I love about this lifestyle is there's no pressure. Right. I don't have to get the whole thing painted. Yeah. I might paint for 2 hours one day and go, I'm bored and I'm not going to do it again.
Sounds like me.
And so I may be driving this thing around partially painted for a while. I might get completely done. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I like living a no pressure lifestyle.
So are you in any Skoolie clubs, or do you follow the Skoolie world?
I do follow the Skoolie world. I follow the YouTube channels of all the van dwellers and boondockers and rubber trampers, and I'm looking to join that community myself.
Do you have any favorite dwellers
I like
or
Nomadic Fanatic. I like Curious Carly, Pandemonium, the Carolyn.
Which Carolyn? The RV Carolyn?
Yeah, I still,
not the van Carolyn.
No, the RV Carolyn. Yeah. Bob Wells, Will Prowse. What's the only ones I can think of? There's more. There's tons more.
Yeah, a lot of smaller people. A lot of smaller people out there too that really haven't had a chance, or they don't really have as big a name. But what is that? A light up there?
It's an LED light. It's an experiment. I have these lights are all incandescent, and it's funny at nighttime. I can't show you now, but at nighttime I turn these lights on, and they're 3 times the power draw as this, and 1/3 the illumination as this. This one you can see during the day. This isn't final. I just had these lights laying around, and I just needed to get some light in here, so I just made this thing as a temporary. I'm going to convert these to LED and make some fancy shades to go around them, and But for right now, that's all that is. They're just magnetically hung. Magnets on a school bus are your best friend. I got magnets everywhere.
Yeah, I see the magnets. There's some magnets right there. You know what I really am impressed about is what you did with that plywood, because what you did is you kind of like charred it.
Yeah, I just took a propane torch and lightly burned it, and then I took a marine varnish and just varnished it.
Now you're gonna have covers for these coming?
I've got the plywood I cut out of it. I still have all that.
Right.
And I haven't figured out the hinging and the latching yet to make doors. Which was a problem for me this morning because I wanted to drive out of this campground, and as you know, the road.
Yeah, the roads are really pothole-ish.
At least they're dry. You're not going to get stuck, but there's a lot of rolling.
They're doable, but they're.
And the suspension in this thing is school bus suspension, so it's stiff.
Yeah.
And I had to crawl my way out of here because I removed some stuff from the shelves so they wouldn't fall, but as you can see, I've got...
Oh, I never thought of that.
Yeah, it was a little hairy. I just drove really slow getting out of here because when I drove in yesterday, there was nothing in any of these. They were empty. Everything was in boxes on the floor. So I start fine-tuning my living arrangements, put it all up there, and last night I go, you know what? I'm fucked when I want to leave here because I've got nothing everything's going to come. So this morning before I left, I just arranged it a little bit and drove real careful. And this fell out a couple times. That was all that fell out.
Yeah, that's just part of our lifestyle.
Yeah.
But
put it away before you hit the road.
Yeah, and you'll know about it if you didn't secure it.
Well, I can show you this. Clear the space a little bit. My garage, which is accessible through the back door, is also accessible from right here. Just take a second.
Come here. This is Ghost. Look at that, 3/4 inch?
Yeah.
Wow, that's some serious heavy-duty construction.
My water tank down there, which isn't plumbed in yet. And this is all the stuff I'm going to use for painting the bus. And then this is all hardware and stuff for building the bus.
Is that a water tank?
Yes.
Is that
45 gallon.
Is it going to be fresh water?
Yes.
Nice.
It's not plumbed in yet, so it's empty. It's not doing any good for me right now. I'm hauling water with me for now. That'll be my next trip. Is going to be the plumbing, getting my water tank going.
I don't know. I don't remember. Did we touch on how many watts are you carrying right now? Like on the top solar.
200 watts of solar.
200 watts of solar.
Yeah.
Now, for the people looking to get into that, you are an electrician, so you have some background.
Yeah.
Now, I was kind of describing my situation where I didn't think I had the aptitude really to. I mean, could your average person put in their own solar, or?
The first thing that's most important is that you have mechanical inclination.
Right.
If you know how to use tools, cut wood,
right.
cut metal, then yes, you'll need help with the theory, and that help is available online. YouTube is a good resource. There are mistakes that could be made that you don't want to make that could be hazardous.
Sure, fires.
You really want to make sure you're fused right and your wire gauges are correct. But there's a lot of good resources for finding out how to do that. It really isn't very hard. Like I told you earlier, if you shine, you can't see everything without me removing the refrigerator because some of the most impressive wiring is down behind this cupboard.
Oh, okay.
That's where all my big stuff is. There's a couple of bus bars down here, which all the big stuff connects to. And I got stuff behind this cabinet here too. There's a terminal strip in here where all the 12 volt meets up. But the most important thing, aside from wire gauges and fuses, is tight connections. And when you make everything neat and tidy, believe it or not, that's important to electricity. Neatness and tidiness counts.
Okay.
Because when you're neat and tidy, you're paying attention to the small details, and that's when you make sure everything's all tight and secure, and it's not going to flop around or short out. And it's the people that just wire everything together and leave it a mess. There's no security in that.
Well, so let's talk. Or we save this for last. Let's talk toilets.
Toilets.
Everybody's got to go to the bathroom.
I won't show you inside of this one.
Thank you.
But you can see that there's a plastic bag here.
Right.
That's a garbage disposal bags. That's these right here. Garbage disposal bags. And then this bucket has sawdust that I get at the local lumber mill.
There's got to be cedar, or doesn't it matter?
It doesn't
Just
matter. In fact, I don't have enough. I'm going to go gather up some of the wood chips out here
Sure.
when this runs out.
Sure.
And you put a little bit in the bottom of the bag.
And this is considered a composting toilet.
This is composting toilet, yeah.
All right.
You got one of these that just snaps onto the bucket.
Wow.
You put it on that bucket though. Do your business. Put a scoop of this. You don't need very much, just enough to cover the mess.
Right.
And then you put the lid back on. Put everything
And I'll tell you guys, this is something we chatted about, and I don't mean to embarrass Mike, but it's a part of the lifestyle that many of us live. Is when I first came in here, he was sort of using the bathroom at the time. So, and I'll be honest, I came in here and it there was no bizarre scent or anything like that. It was very clean smelling in here. So I've heard that before. The composting toilets, that they're very clean and efficient.
Yeah. I want to do something to build this in. When I start finishing out my living space, I'll make some kind of wooden frame thing with a lid that opens up.
Right.
And it'll have the paper towels, and it'll have the wood chips, and it'll have the toilet bucket, and it'll all just close into a bench.
Mm-hmm. All right. So do you want to take a look at the
one thing we haven't touched on that's a little more difficult in my situation is showering.
Showering. That's right. How about an exterior shower?
I've got a lot of ideas for that. Currently, I'm using a washcloth and water outside in the forest, and just showering that way.
Yeah.
But I would like to I have some options. I have a propane Instahot that I can install, that I can mount and spray a sprayer out the window. There's many different options I'm toying with. There's no good option.
They got roof
with for interior showering. For interior showering, if it's too cold or too many people around, you just use a sponge. Or you use these kind of things.
Like wipes, yeah.
But those are, I like a regular shower. Wipes don't do it for me.
No, they don't.
But an outdoor shower with I heat some water on the stove.
Those little wipes, when I was a little bit younger and a little bit promiscuous, we used to call them like slut baths. So, yeah, I might have to edit that part. So, one more thing, and I kind of forgot, I guess. So, should we take a look outside?
Sure.
In the back end and see? Well, I like what you're doing with the place. I really do. It looks like you spent a lot of time and effort into starting a show. So I couldn't wait to see what it would look like when you're all done.
Well, I've put some time into it, not really any effort. This is fun for me. This is my hobby.
Yeah.
I like building stuff, and I put no pressure on myself as far as a due date, or I got to be done
That's the way to do it.
or it's got to be this quality.
Yeah.
I just do what feels good when I feel. I put a few hours into it when I feel like putting a few hours into it.
Right. The important part is the engine, transmission, drivetrain works. It gets you to where you want to go right now.
So and that's my biggest worry, because it's a Skoolie. I'm having difficulty finding roadside assistance plans that I don't have to finagle the bureaucracy with little fibs about what this thing is.
Right, and what about auto insurance?
I'm also having trouble with auto insurance right now. We'll leave it. Yeah. I'm having trouble with auto insurance.
All right. Well,
but I forgot what I was going to say. I fuck them.
Yeah.
You can edit that if you want, but I don't care, man. I'm doing everything I can to follow the rules that the bureaucracies have laid out for us. Yeah. And if they won't allow me, then screw them. I have to live, and I'm not going to live that way anymore, so I just do what I have to do.
Absolutely. All right. That's from Mike. All right, let's take a look outside. All right.
Show my new toy.
Now that's a bike. Tell me about this bike.
It's a rad bike. They're a company in Ballard, which is the city I live in Seattle. And I didn't want to tow behind a vehicle, and I'm not in a good enough shape for regular bicycle riding anymore.
Now, to be clear, this is an electric bike.
This is an electric bike. I can charge this off my solar panels in the bus. You can't charge directly from solar panels to the bike because it's got a 48-volt battery.
Okay.
It has to go through the inverter that I have in there. So I have to convert the sun from DC to AC, and then back through the charger back to 48-volt DC to charge. But it all works. I can charge the bike in about 6 hours off my solar panels, and it'll get between 20 and 50 miles on a charge. I can throttle only and no pedal and get about 20 miles on it.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So as far as speed, what are you talking about? 20 miles an hour?
It's topped as a
19.
19.5.
Yeah.
They set the throttle there because
it's all about registration and licensing.
But there's hacks online that you can do to increase the speed of this.
Oh, absolutely.
But I've found that for my age and size, 19.5 miles an hour is plenty fast. I would really hurt myself if I crashed at 19.5 miles an hour.
So now you can get into your garage from the rear. Do we want to look at that, or?
My keys to unlock it. Sometimes I have trouble with the key lock on the outside of this one, and I got the inside blocked, so if the key doesn't work, we can't look in.
Not a problem.
I'm gonna try it. Hang on, I gotta go in.
All right. Oh, and here we are again. Sorry about the glare, guys. I know it's kind of dark, but this is your garage. And on the left, with what we can't see, that's where you showed us your water tank.
Yeah, and on the other side's parts.
That's really cool. So there's the paint and some tools. Now, where do you put your bike? You just
Inside.
put it right. Oh, it
I just put it inside. I bungee cord it to my kitchen counter. I'm gonna put a rack on the back of it eventually.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I wish I did. Is included a bike in my travels, and maybe
It'll stay now. It's got a latch.
Oh, okay. So this would be cool. I could just see this parked behind, or parked right next to like the ocean, with your back door open, sitting on your bed overlooking the ocean.
That was my first trip. I took this down to the Oregon coast.
Yeah.
My daughter lives down there.
And notice those window coverings. Now that's usually what I see with a lot of dwellers. They use the reflectix, yeah.
And that's just temporary. When I first got into the bus, everything was all reflectix until I put the wood up. These back windows, there's going to be some framing that's going to block them. When I finish that back area, I'm going to have shelves put in there.
Right.
So I'm going to do something artistic with that window, and the lower one, and put some kind of mural or some hippie artsy stuff in them. The center one that does the bed, I'll make that so you can still open it.
And let's not make any mistake about it. You are a self-proclaimed hippie.
Yes, although I'm a 60s style hippie.
Okay.
Not so much a modern hippie.
Right.
And hippie has a lot of bad connotations
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I like to think that I reflect all the good things about hippies. I'm clean, I'm organized, I'm tidy, I don't leave a mess, I shower as often as I can.
Yeah.
But I am a free spirit, and I do have hippie ethics and morals. And
Sure. That's very respectable. And, you know, I tell you, every time I see a Skoolie, I get excited because each one is so unique. There's so much creativity and work that goes into making these that it's really kind of exciting to go through these. You know, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that our paths met. You seem like a really nice guy, and I really enjoyed the tour. You know, we're both going to be here for a few more days, so we'll be hanging out perhaps maybe once or twice a bit more before we leave. But I want to thank you for saying yes to the video, and I hope a lot of the viewers can get something out of it. If not, just a little bit of entertainment and educational information that they could take with them.
Cool.
So thanks again, and we'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Peace.